Three main reasons that people are not successful in networking. Number one, they're not prepared. They show up unprepared. That means the salesperson too showing up unprepared. See that problem happening right there.
Yep.
Number two is ineffective communication. Number three is the ability to build relationships or not. Those are the three reasons that people either have success or do not. And if any of those three reasons are out of whack, you're dead. You got to get them straightened out now.
Yeah.
So to be patient means you're going to do planning. You're going to sit down with your people and you're going to make sure that they know who they're supposed to be looking for. They need to know who their ICPs are. They need to know how to say their requests. They need to know who their COIs are, center of influence. They need to know who the heck they're going after. If they do not know that, you might as well start, it's not happening. It's just going to be a long road. So you can exchange that patient for preparedness.
Well, welcome back to Whiskey is for Closers. This is the podcast where founders stop pretending to know how to sell and start actually figuring it out. Today, we are sitting down with Clay Hicks, the founder of the H7 Network. Now, if you have ever felt awkward asking someone for a referral or thought networking was just for people in bad blazers in hotel ballrooms, this episode is for you. Clay has built something that flips the whole script, a community where trust actually comes first and the business opportunities just follow naturally. We are going to be talking about his proprietary thought process of connect, serve, ask. It's a methodology on how to scale your network without losing the real stuff and why the best sales strategy might not be about selling at all. So, grab your drink of choice because Clay did not bring his. He will be talking about that in a minute. And let's figure this thing out together. This is Whiskey is for Closers. So, guys, the reason everybody really listens to the show, what are we drinking today? To get their recommendations, right?
Of course. Well, I think
Sorry to put you on blast there, Clay.
Dude, that was like major blast.
Yeah, right?
It was great.
Holy
I thought it was
cow.
great timing. You're good.
Craig and Clay, have they ever met before, or is this the first time?
Yeah. No, we met.
Yeah, second or third time.
Okay, all right. I was like, man,
We go
go
way
all
back.
in, Craig. I love it.
We go way back, like a year and a half-ish.
18 months or so ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Craig and Clay go Blake 12 minutes ago. That's how far back they go. It's awesome.
That's funny.
Snake.
I'm
King
up.
Snake.
All right, King Snake. Listen, I'm slithering in with my announcement of what I bring. So today, I'm excited about this one. This stuff is so good. And no mocking, okay? This is awesome. It's
Can't
called
promise
Kentucky.
that. Come on.
Listen, I expect mocking. I just have to say it just to kind of preface it. This is coffee whiskey, you guys. Now, it combines two of my favorite things, coffee and whiskey. And I will say it's a little on the sweet side, but I will tell you, you get this rich coffee, beautiful flavor, which I absolutely love. In fact, I drink my coffee black. I don't put anything in it. And so I like it for
Amen.
the notes, right? And I get it inside of this. I'm telling you, I'm rocking it. I'm enjoying it. So that's my drink today.
So, Clay, he just said he drinks his coffee black so that you won't take his man card away from him for drinking coffee whiskey.
Well, the first thing I thought was, no wonder you drink it because it deafens the flavor of the whiskey and
Right.
gives you a little feeling of, what's that called? The bomb, the Jaeger bombs, it feeling like a Jaeger bomb to you?
Dude, those are so terrible too, aren't they?
Oh, man. All right. Well, we're gonna go to the other extreme with my whiskey. This one, boys, you guys will know this one, but
Ooh.
Clay doesn't.
Yes.
Sexy motor oil, Clay. This comes from the Breckenridge Distillery in Breckenridge, Colorado. And
Yes.
they make these once a year. It's a very special limited run blend that they make in partnership with the Breckenridge Brewery. And this, boys, you see how empty this is?
Yes.
Already?
That means
Come on.
that means it's time. It's time. It's time for 2026 edition of Sexy Moral. Cody's got us hooked up. Cody's got
I
us
love
hooked
it.
up. Yes, sir. I
That's
love
awesome.
it's a good
That's
one, Clay.
so
If you ever get
awesome.
to Breckenridge, Colorado, I recommend it.
Well,
I
so
love it.
I go to Denver in June, so I just need you to point me in the right direction.
I will do it. You let me know when you're going. I'll make sure the Cody will take
Yeah.
care of you.
Yeah, well, I'd be drinking right now, but I'm at my daughter's house. If I were at my home right now, man, I have this Glen Willet rye.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, I love it, love it, love it. I love me a good rye, but it's got to be a good rye. And not all ryes
Yes.
are made equal.
Yeah, true.
100%.
Some of them are a little rough.
But Clay,
Well-
would you also have a cigar with that drink?
Yes, it would probably be my Jaime Garcia Toro.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's some good
Like
stuff
the way
right
you
there.
think, Clay.
Woo, I'm
That's
feeling it
some
right
good
now.
stuff
I'm
right
not
there.
even drinking it.
So, Drew, I won't make fun of you because
Yes, you
I'm
will.
also not drinking whiskey. You guys know this about me. I am a gin and tonic guy, like just absolutely love it. So today I went with Old Dominic Gin, which is a Tennessee-based gin out of
Oh.
Memphis, Tennessee. And this I thought was kind of fun. The master distiller's name is Alex Castle. How much cooler of a name can you get as a master distiller than Alex Castle? Right?
You know he made that up. That's
he did.
not a real name.
That's a stage name. It's a
Totally.
stage name.
That's Drew's stage name.
Yes.
So I had a friend once, Craig, that he loved gin too. He loved it so much I got him on the bourbon. Yeah.
I do love bourbon, but I needed something a little more light today.
Well, he only drinks it with me to make you feel better. He only
Fever-Tree
drinks
and-
the bourbon with me, and then he drinks his gin the rest of the time. Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
good stuff.
I
Well,
love
I
it.
guess we should drink to that, boys, except for Clay.
Yes. He's got water.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Cheers in your hydro flask.
You know you're in trouble
Your
if
Yeti.
you have whiskey in a hydro flask. That's like next level issues.
Go on out.
That's how they do it at the Mormon church.
Oh my gosh.
So, Craig, am I leading us out with the questions
Yeah,
today?
man.
I get to
Yeah.
start. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Clay, you and I, we do go back a bit, right? So when I first started Alteza, 2020 was when I started. In 2021 is when I started kind of getting out in the marketplace. It's when I started saying, I got to get out and start telling the story. I joined this networking group that was kind of Colorado centric at the time. And so it was great. I met some cool people, but everybody was in Colorado. And I was like, I need to get like national, and somehow I need to get national. And I met a guy in that Colorado group whose name is John Geese. You know John? And so John told me about this thing called H7, and so he was promoting it and saying you need to check that out. So I did. I got connected with you, got into the H7 group, and that began a huge expansion of my networking methodology and strategy. And so I'm so super grateful that we got connected. H7 was a huge part of, basically the early stage of my networking at Alteza. I remember counting at one time how many one-on-one calls that I had, and it was like 500, roughly a little over 500. And I know you do more than that, so you'll put me to shame. But yeah, it was, I really do value the role that you and H7 played in the overall growth of Alteza. So I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. So let's start by just tell us the story, the origin story behind H7, because there's a cool story there. And tell us about the problem that you were, trying to solve there, and what made you finally go, I need to fix this problem.
Yeah. So, back in my 20s, I became an entrepreneur at 23. I didn't have a degree. I was working in a steel mill at the time, and up in Middletown, Ohio, AK Steels is what it was called, now Cleveland Cliffs. But anyway, nonetheless, I started with a lawn care business, and then I got into real estate. I moved really fast. And I grew, like we was very successful, and I lost it all, including a marriage. And so I became a single parent, raising my 2 little girls, full time, and, they were 7 and 2 at the time, and, I went through like a transformation. What I learned was that, I shouldn't do business by myself. That was very important. And at the time, I really was, and I thought I had it all together. I lost it all. And so what I recognized was in my own transformation that, entrepreneurs should never do business alone because they're dangerous alone, like very dangerous. They will peel out right in front of everybody and destroy everything around them if they're not careful. So anyway, kind of like what I did. Okay. And so not doing business alone. I went to a couple networking groups and they were weren't my style, very stale. Like it's too corporate-y, too whatever. And so I was on this journey and it was a rough time, like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the girls and all of my life and all these things. And so the problem I solve and still solve today is to ensure that entrepreneurs don't do business alone. And so many people do. And so I like to bring them all in with me, more or less, kind of how I think it'll look big picture, like let's do this together. And so still to this day, we're still solving that problem today. How many people do not have the right relationships? They're banging their head up against the wall and they're like, I'm going to this thing, and my prospect's not here. And well, there are a bunch of people in the room that I'm not like, so I feel, again, feel like alone. And so solving that problem today is just a matter of them finding out about age 7,
Mhm.
or finding out about how to build a relationship. There's a system for building relationships. Yeah, there is. And so a lot of that is why we're still in business today. We're about to celebrate 18 years next
Dude,
month.
that's awesome, man. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
Right.
I'm curious, like so kind of two questions. Other than the doing it alone, which you're right, that's a huge struggle for a lot of founders and entrepreneurs. Tell us about another struggle maybe that you've had as a founder, and then I want to hear about, like, you alluded to some networking things you did before. You were kind of kind about it. I feel like you said, yeah, I was a little too businesslike, but I really feel like a lot of these networking things are just full of creepy people. So I want you to share maybe a really creepy networking experience that you had.
Oh man, I have them a lot. I have them a lot now. I have more now than ever before in my life. So I guess that, there are, I went to a conference recently, main nameless. And so, I'm a speaker, I'm all this stuff, I'm presenting all this stuff. And to have somebody come up and just literally off the stage, try to sell me something. It started out as this conversation and then was telling me how she could solve my problems with this blah, blah, blah. And she just pitch slapped me to death. Damn near followed me around trying
Wow.
to sell me this product.
Was she just hot for you, man?
I mean, I am a sexy beast, but
Yeah.
I think in this point in time, at this point in time, um, I don't think that's what it was.
She was just, huh?
I mean, like, I can do that. And every time I would say something, she would connect with it and find a way to like solve it. You ever
Wow.
experienced that before?
Oh
You
yeah.
talk to this person and you can solve that problem very quickly. Like, that's what it was like. It's just very creepy, uncomfortable. I wasn't sure if she was a fan. I don't know what was happening. I get into some weird situations like that though, honestly, a
Yeah,
lot.
dude. There's a lot of creepy networking people out there, but we're going to talk about how to not do that. So I'm looking forward to diving into that conversation.
All right, Clay, I was introduced to you probably about 2 years ago. And Steve was like, hey, I need to introduce you to this guy. I think you guys are going to probably get along because you're definitely not opposites, but you're very, very similar in a lot of different ways, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, well, what are some of the things? And he's like, well, first of all, he loves bourbon. He loves cigars. I was like, dude, listen, man crush on. I'm in. Yes, just put me on I'll be that creepy trying to sell something. I'm just kidding. So as we were talking, On that initial call, so you were kind of explaining everything. You really hit home the three core words that are the foundation for why you created this, built this, and why this thing exists today. And those three words are connect, and I love your shirt that you're wearing, serve, and ask, right? Connect,
That's
serve,
right.
and ask are those three. That's such a cool shirt. I love it. I want you to dig into that for a few minutes. Walk us through that framework. Where did that come from? Why those words? What inspired that? I would just love to hear you from the founder's mouth where this came from.
So let's talk about that part first, and then we'll kind of open up some of the what it is. So my wife and I were getting married. Okay. And I'm one of those people that will take action before you know everything. I'm just one of those people. Okay. I mean, like that's a thing. And so you don't know anything until you try it, more or less, right? So let's try it. And so
That's right.
So at this time, it was really a crux in what was happening in my life. So I had two little girls I was raising, my daughters, my biological daughters. I'm meeting three bonus children plus my wife. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I got to grow this thing. And so I'm a prayerful man. So to be serious, a prayerful man, and was led to this mission to start doing these one-to-ones. Literally, that's all I knew. So I started in first week of August in 2014. So throughout the next 4 years, I did 3,000 one-to-ones. Okay. 3,000 1 hour one-to-ones. But the
Damn.
amount of stuff that I learned was incredible. So I like to try things always with the idea of I don't know, so I'm gonna be curious. I've been a curious person my whole life. So I get in all these one-to-ones. I understood Connect about 1,000 one-to-ones in, but it wasn't called Connect. It was called Find Commonality originally. Then when I got to about 1,600 one-to-ones, this was called 2017, 16, something like that. And this guy helped me out. And here's what he did. So up to this moment, I'd only ever experienced one-to-ones where at the end, it was time to help each other. At the end. Hey, we got 7 minutes left in our meeting. How can I help you, Steve? There's no time. What do you mean? Like, how are you going to help me if there's barely anything you can do for me at this point, right? Because of conversation and communication. This guy showed me something else. He said, halfway through the one-to-one, how can I help you? I mean, I banged my head up against the wall. Like, who the hell? What is this? Why did this guy do this? His name is John Altieri. I always give him credit. Always. He changed my life. So he offers to help me. He gives me 11 one-to-ones, 11 introductions right then and there. And 7 of them, well, there's about 2 left still today. That was way back in 16. They're still around. And so anyway, there was 2 out of 11 are still around. At one point, 7 of them were still here just up till the pandemic. Long time. And so anyway, I went home, driving home. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I turned it into add value. That was where that came from. Then I not finished, about 2,500 one-to-ones in. I still wasn't even asking for help. I was like literally an altruist out there just helping people apparently. And so everybody would ask me leading up to this moment of 2,500, everybody would ask me, how can I help? I'd be like, just make sure you take care of the people I introduce you to. Like I'm some stud or something. I don't need any business or help. That's how I treated it. Then one day it hit me. Like these people keep asking me how they can help. Why don't I ask for? So 2,500 one-to-ones in, ask is born. It took me till August to name it all though. Took me till August to name it all. All I had was find commonality, add value. What is this? And I was like, ask. Well, I got to have another couple words to go with that, right? To describe that. Connect, Serve, and Ask was born in August of 2008. And yes, I have 3 shirts. One says Connect, one says Serve, one says Ask. And when I speak, it says Ask. And I did it just 2 weeks ago. I love it. It's my brand. It's what I want to wear. So this is that's the origin of
Cool,
Connect, Serve,
man.
and Ask.
That's
Super
so
cool.
awesome. It's when you find out, and this is why origin stories are so important.
Yeah.
Because the heart fuels it's the heart behind this, right? Because I know even from experiencing and attending these H7s myself, everything that you just described, like you've done a great job of duplicating that even after all these years, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, how easy is it 10 years into something for dilution to start to take place, right? The original heart, the original purpose starts to kind of lose its edge. And yet here I am, you know, coming in just a couple of years ago, feeling the strength and power behind that origin story as strong today as it was when you first designed that and put that out there.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I find interesting, Clay, is
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of founders, I talk to a lot of owners week to week, and a lot of them hate networking. They just don't
Yes.
like it,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, whether it's like, hey, listen, I am a engineer who started a business and all I do is engineering things, right? So it's kind of like
Yeah.
that's the mindset they come at it with. So to think about networking, it does not feel like something they go, yes, sign me up to that. How does this framework of connect, serve, and ask flipped that script of hate doing this, right? Like, how
Yeah.
does that start to turn it on its head?
Well, so most people that hate networking, it has a lot to do with like their experience networking. Period, right? Like just their experiences. Like, daggone it, I met with 10 people this week. I helped 5 and 4 of them helped me. What was the rest of my time? How was that spent? And a lot of it just goes in the trash. Like it's not good time spent. This gives you a plan. This gives you something to prepare for. Number one, it gives you a process to apply. So most people don't know what they're doing when they get into them anyway. It just becomes like
True.
each person just talking, really, but it may not be as effective until you learn how to make it more effective. Well, there's some people that spend their whole lives doing one-to-ones, get nothing from it, and they just give up on it. You know, they don't know what to do, and this doesn't work. Networking doesn't work. It's not networking, it's you. It's mostly you. This gives you power where you didn't have it before. That's the difference. It gives you something to start with. It gives you a framework. You can follow something. You can follow a process a little easier, and it's set up to where it's just 3 steps. You know, there's 3. You know, I can connect with the person. I can get to know their story. I can tell my story. I can serve. I can ask them how I can help. I don't know if I can help, but I can at least ask,
Mhm.
right? It just puts more power back into the person to give them a little bit more control over the situation
Good.
in comparison.
Yeah. That's good. I think what I love about it, Clay, is that it really does help the founder that's uncomfortable with networking because they view it as a sales approach to sales, right? And
Yeah.
here's the weird, like here's the interesting kind of twist here is that networking done right is actually a very effective sales strategy, but it's that it's that concept of sales and the salesy kind of aspects of networking that probably turns most founders off because they don't want to feel that way. They don't want to be that guy, right? They want to
Yeah.
be the person you talked about who chased you off the stage, right? No, most
Yeah.
founders don't want to do that, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's the framework is amazing. What have you seen? Any cool stories you can tell about how a founder that was very much afraid of it for all the reasons we
Yeah.
talked about, who became amazing at it and grew this huge pipeline of sales opportunity?
Yeah, I have one. That's going to be on my TEDx talk. The story's already there. And I just told it for the first time because it's 2 weeks new. It's like it's brand new, like just happened. Now this kind of thing happens with members a lot. They don't think they need the course. They don't need that course. They don't need to read anything or do something. You know, they don't have to do that because they already know what they're doing. So I experienced this a lot. So we had this member, I won't say his name, but we had this member, and he joined last year in 2024, and his membership was up in December of 25. And so he taught me a lot of things. I let him in. I told him I was a speaker. He wanted to help. All this stuff was happening. He helped to form who I am now today as a speaker. Very grateful, but I couldn't afford his service. That's all. I mean, it's expensive, high ticket item, right? And so that's just the name of the game sometimes. Sometimes you can't afford it. So anyway, we stayed close, and he experienced H7 for an entire year. An entire year, he would hear me speaking and all these things, but there was something that was missing. He just wasn't getting out of it what he had hoped. The community, the experience, right, of H7. So we met. I mean, we're friends. Let's meet and talk about it. I said, seems to me you haven't taken any of the training. Man. Take this. Connect, Serve, and Ask course or nothing. I said, but you understand what it is, but you still should take the course and this and that. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to leave A7, but I really just want to work with you. I'm like, that doesn't really work that way. I mean, if I could afford that, sure, maybe. But I like to work with people I have a strong relationship with. Like, that's important. And I can't just be used. I'm not going to be that way. The cold community matters. So I said, do me a favor. Take the course. I'll extend your renewal 1 extra month. Take the course. If you take the course and you follow what I tell you to do and it doesn't work, fine. You can leave. No problem. He takes the course in December like he said he would. And something happened in December where he started to make some application and changes. And some of the members in the community he'd already met with, but he changed his tune with some of them. All right. So he tells me in December, okay, I'm going to stay. All right, cool. I'm going to give it 1 more year. I'm going to give it a shot. All right, cool. So we go over the Connect, Serve, and Ask application. We talk about it again, just for a refresher. You'll be happy to know in January he sold his first deal. First referral, paid for his membership for 50 years.
Wow.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah. That's just good ROI.
That's great ROI. Yeah. Yeah. And so, because he's a high ticket item, I mean, that kind of thing happens, but that's what it was. You have to apply these things. You have to help other people, but you have to do it authentically. You can't just go out asking and stuff. Like, you got to care and genuinely put into other people. It makes our lives even better, actually, when we do that.
Yeah.
Makes it more full.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
What was the reason that he took so long to take the course? Like, the dude go through he signed up. So why didn't he follow the blueprint? What's that about? Do you see that happen a lot?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could tell you exactly who's leaving H7 right now, next month.
Huh. Because they
So
haven't
I
done
could
it.
just go.
Yeah.
There's some people will take one of it, but not all of it, which is fine. Usually, they'll take fuel more than they'll take CSA
Yeah.
because that's onboarding them.
Right.
CSA is something you got to learn and apply. It's a networking for adults where we take the information and we apply it ourselves. And so I have story after story. I had another member said, "Oh, I already understand Connect, Serve, and Ask without taking the train." Do you? So I've done it 9,400 times. But you got it. Never took it. Sure, you got it. Sure, you got it.
That's like the guy who says, I can snowboard. I've watched YouTube videos.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, and to that
Clay,
point,
well,
Right.
elephant in the room, right? You still have 600 hours to become an expert at this, dude.
I will
To get
be
your
there by
10,000 hours.
September.
Yes.
I'll be there by August. I will. I'll be there by August. I'll be there by August.
You are the most prolific networker I know. I couldn't help but say
Yeah.
that.
Why would I ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do? Like, what kind of man is
1,000%.
that?
Yeah.
well, and I think
good, man.
Clay, if I were to put myself and try to go, okay, why would somebody not take full advantage of that? And it's like the first thing that comes to my head is trying to take shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
find a shortcut to the end result, and the end result really is I need business for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And when you shortcut the process where others first, right? When you take this concept of, listen, when you put other people before yourself, it's just the nature of how the universe works. This stuff comes back in your favor. And there is no counting a 1-to-1, 2-to-2. It's, dude, just go out and serve. Don't shortcut the process. And
That's right.
in the end, when you just follow what the recipe is designed to do, you get the outcome that you're looking for.
Yeah. Hey, that's exactly right. That's correct. So we had this guy one time that would serve, and he'd ask you who'd you like to meet, and you'd say whoever, and he said, "No, I don't have any." So I'm looking for. I swear, we had members complain about. Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, and that probably
Wild.
that actually goes into my next question is, what's the number one thing that you see founders mess up when they're trying to start to build their network for sales?
That's good. That's a great question. Patience.
Mm.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Unpack that one.
Yeah. So, first of all, if you're founder of a business, you better have some level of strategy in you. You got to lead the team. You got to practice that. If you don't want to do that, you're dead. Because you got to be able to lead far past that if you're going to lead them, right? So, patience. So, patience is something that needs to be practiced. And when a founder like us is starting up a business, that makes it very challenging. Like patience is very expensive, one would say. And so we have to do what we can do with what we have. And so if you got to be patient while your staff is building relationships, and you may have to do something different while they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to be patient and you just expect somebody to come out and sell something without even having relationships to be able to do so, you're hurting yourself. And in the long run, the networking, it doesn't actually take that long. But it can take a few meetings. It can take a little bit of time. But that has to do with, did you find the right people? So patience, understanding what you're looking for and who you need to even be working with.
I really want to double click on that, Clay, because I feel like there's a lot of founders out there who buy into this idea that I'm going to build my business through the development of authentic relationships, partnerships, right? And they see the value of it, but they lack the patience to let it actually happen. So what happens is they don't see the outcome, like they're too focused on the outcome instead of the activity. And
That's
they
right.
get 6 months in and they're going, I haven't closed any deals. This is a waste of my time. And then they give up on it. And everything they did up to that point is now flushed down the toilet. So what would you say, like, tell us about what you've learned about the time it takes. Like, how much patience do we need to have for something like this if we're trying to build our business this way?
That's a great question. So I have an actual quote that describes this. That's why I was able to share so easily. When you focus on the relationship and not the outcome, the outcomes become more predictable, flat out.
We were going to
Okay.
call out that
Preach
quote
it.
later, Clay, and have you unpack that for us.
We're
Awesome.
unpacking it now. We're unpacking
love
it now.
it.
Do it.
So first of all, you have to be set up. You have to do the work. The three main reasons that people are not successful in networking. Number one, they're not prepared. They show up unprepared. That means the salesperson too showing up unprepared. See that problem happening right there.
Yep.
Number two is ineffective communication. Number three is the ability to build relationships or not. Those are the three reasons that people either have success or do not. And if any of those three reasons are out of whack, you're dead. You got to get them straightened out now.
Yeah.
So to be patient means you're going to do planning. You're going to sit down with your people and you're going to make sure that they know who they're supposed to be looking for. They need to know who their ICPs are. They need to know how to say their requests. They need to know who their COIs are, center of influence. They need to know who the heck they're going after. If they do not know that, you might as well start, it's not happening. It's just going to be a long road. So you can exchange that patient for preparedness. So you show up prepared. The average person, professional, entrepreneur, I do not care, don't even know how to say the request if you ask them.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Okay, so I say, Steve, who would you like to meet? And then Steve, that works for another founder, that's a salesperson, now has to go back and tell the founder, like, I asked, I tried. So then the founder's like, what did you ask for? And they did ask rambling. That's my favorite. Who'd you like to meet? For 7 minutes later, it's like, I don't know what you just said.
Well, that's similar to people trying to explain their value proposition too, right? You ask them what it is they do. It's like, oh my God, can somebody please stop that person right now? I don't even know what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, when you use this method, though, you can actually expedite that with efficiency in your patients.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to know how to ask a person that is a stranger for help. Well, that's not your ICP. You need to know your ICP, but you also need to know when to use that and apply that. In a first connection, like, you might as well just be telling them nothing.
Yeah. Well, and I what, going back to this concept of patience and how long does it take? I tell founders that, look, here's been my experience. And so I'd be curious what you think about this, Clay, but in my experience, even when you do it the right way, which you're teaching us how to do it the right way, you really won't see the flywheel click into the place where you've just got leads flowing on a predictable basis for over a year. And sometimes it could be as long as 2 years, depending on what it is you're selling. I feel like you really have to continually stay consistent, persistent, and patient. And then if you can
Yeah.
do that for a year, 18 months, somewhere in there, you're going to all of a sudden, you're going to see and feel real momentum. It's the people that give up at 6 months, 9 months that never feel it, never see it, and they think it's all a waste of time. What are your thoughts there?
So that's a real thing. Okay. So everybody is going to be a little different though too. So if I'm building relationships, I'm building relationships around the right thing. Most people do not build relationships around the right thing from the beginning, on the offshoot, right on the beginning, right out of the gate. And they mix that stuff up. And so they'll go into all these talking about length of time and what I was sharing earlier. You can cut through some of the fat if you know how to build your pipeline from the beginning. And that has a lot to do with understanding who you're looking for. And then on top of it, how do I say it? How do I speak the words? Most people are only trained to talk about their ICPs, which will then expand that time frame. So if I were to say, well, so here's one way to ask. So I would ask for my ICP, which is fractional executives that are struggling with networking, but they don't have any employees. They're just getting started. That's one of my ICPs,
Yeah.
right? One. When I communicate that to somebody I barely know, I am not getting very much. I'm going to get like sprinkles, if anything, of
Huh?
a potential referral meeting somebody the first time. But the way I teach people to ask, you can start filling up your pipeline now. Now it expedites that process by
Mhm.
asking very specific ways. Your patience has to be around understanding that there are other effective ways to speed that stuff up based on how you ask and how you engage with the other person. That can expedite the relationship.
I gotcha. So what I'm hearing you say is the more specificity, then the easier it is for somebody to actually help you.
That's correct. And we
Mm.
and we use the word broadly specific. We use the word industry. Industry is what takes us there, gives us more control out of the gate. So that patience, then you're controlling more of the relationship style so that the outcome can then be more predictable.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I know I listen to these podcasts, Clay, and I hear these light bulb aha moments where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've never heard it framed this way," or like something just connects. And you, as a listener, as somebody who's wanting to grow, develop, and get better, you get this motivation to want to get into action and to do something. I need
Yeah.
to get better at this, right? So what's the one thing, if somebody is listening to this and they're feeling that motivation, they're feeling that urge to want to get better at this, what's one thing that they should do this week to really start to move the needle forward?
I'm going to tell you that the one thing that if everybody could get better at asking would be it. But let me tell you why. Okay? One thing. So we look at our ICP and we say, how do we communicate that better? How do we fill our pipeline so we have a little bit more control over the outcome of what happens? And so sharpen your ask down to industries. And here's why. Number one, it makes it easier on somebody else to help you. Number two, they can picture it. People can't picture problems, they can picture people though.
Mm.
Mhm.
Number three, reason why is because it opens up the channel of trust to be earned by the other person. So mutual trust is what we need. So we need to understand that we're asking this way because of those three reasons, period. And then we get all those people, all those industries into our pipeline that we can start working, building relationships with, nurturing, proactively nurturing, which puts us ahead of the game for the first time ever. Instead of waiting on opportunities, opportunities now are now created intentionally by keeping some of that power so you can nurture those relationships instead of giving it all to the other people.
That's great.
I love it. I love it. Clay, could I put you on the spot to
Exactly.
model this for a second?
Yeah, there you go.
What would be a good ask? You asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you know any fractional executives?
Yes.
You know any fractional executives that want to join H7? Like right now. But you can't answer that, can you?
No.
You can't. But you can answer fractional executives.
Yep.
Fill my pipeline up, boys, because I'm going to
Yeah.
meet with them. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to nurture them. I'm going to do what it takes to do what it takes.
Yeah, that's good. And I would say if you know, like, because you do such a good job, the framework of connect, serve, ask allows you to learn more about me. And so
That's right.
you would probably, if you were talking to me and you asked me that, you would probably say, so Steve, do you know any fractional executives in the marketing space? Because now even though you'll work with fractional executives outside of marketing, you know that because I'm in sales, I probably know a lot of people in marketing, right? And so then I'm going to start thinking of faces and names instead of, like, fractional executives is broad, but fractional executives in marketing, that's specific. Yeah, I got like 10 people I could introduce you to. So that's the value of the connect piece, because you can make that ask even more specific to what you think would be that person's going to be able to do.
Yeah, I remember specifically making tons of introductions to you, brother, as you may recall.
Oh my gosh.
It
Constant.
was so fun, by the way. It was
Every
so
day.
fun. It was so fun, but you know, you asked for it. And so I'm going to give it. And some of them were probably good. Not all.
Yeah.
Right? But some.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work through it.
That's right.
But even the ones that aren't good, many times that turns into other conversations, right?
That's right.
Like,
It does.
that's the beauty of all of this is going, even though the conversation that I maybe have expected to be a potential client for me, that wasn't one, who cares, right? Like, turn that into what else could this conversation turn to? How can I serve that person? Or where else can this connection end up going? That's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, if you will, right? Where you just get out there and network and connect. Everybody leads to somebody, and turning down any networking opportunity. I've learned through this, like, you don't turn down networking opportunity. You just don't know where the conversation's going to go, who the connection's going to turn into, and or a relationship that maybe you end up having over time that you never would have thought you would have had. And it's not a job or it's not a client, but rather it's a relationship. That, my friend, is really winning.
There you go. That's right. So remember when I said that showing up prepared?
Yeah.
Okay, I left one thing out. We want to talk. There's a lot of stuff, right? So in the ask, so the reason I ask for fractions is I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, no matter what is happening in front of me.
Yeah.
I already know that if I meet with any one of them, there are 3 things that are going to happen. One is going to want to visit and potentially join. Potentially. 2, they want to visit because they want to champion for us. Okay. Or 3, they don't need to visit. They're just going to help me back because I'm also asking them for fractionals. So they actually can champion for me. It's easier for them to do that. So imagine if I'm looking for contractors and I say, well, I want to work with roofers. All right, that's my target market. Roofers, no roofers.
Yep.
Roofers, no other contractors. So get your butt in front of that roofer and take it from there. But you got to know what to do with them, know how to funnel your people and organize your relationships.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah, man.
That's super good.
Yeah.
Well, Clay,
I'll make one more point, and then I'll let you bring us home, Craig.
Yeah.
Again, the value of connect. I want to say this for the founder who's thinking, okay, I get this on a Zoom call, but I still hate the thought of going to the hotel ballroom and networking in an in-person context because it's just awkward. The connect piece really helps there, right? Because you don't walk up to some stranger and ask them, start pitching. You go walk them, but you ask them about them. Where do you live? What part of town are you from? Find something on their shirt like what it says on yours. Sir, hey, tell me about that, Clay. Start with the connect piece, and then that makes it much easier for those people who are just deathly afraid, the introverts, right? So anyway, go ahead, Craig.
That's right.
Super good. Well, we want to be cognizant of our time, and Clay, you've been so generous. But before we leave, where can people find you? How can they get a hold of you? Where could they learn more?
Yeah, of course, h7network.com and things like that. That's our website. But find me on LinkedIn, send me a message, connect with me. Let's do a one-to-one. I'll prove it. I'll show you.
Yes, model it.
Love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Model it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, and we end every episode with a toast because it's
Okay.
Whiskey is for Closers.
There we
So,
go.
Steve, why don't you lead us out this week?
Yeah, so I'm thinking of all those founders that are listening and really still trying to wrap their minds around getting to a place of comfort with networking. So we're going to toast to them and just say, hey, may all your networking be full of authentic connection. May it be full of clarity around what you're asking for and a lack of fear about asking, right? And may your networking experiences be empty of king snakes that chase you off the stage.
Cheers to that.
I'll drink to
Cheers.
that, baby.
Cheers.
Serving,
That-
not selling, baby.
I love that. That's so funny. That was Clay Hicks, everyone. If you got something from this conversation, you know what to do. Check out h7network.com and start focusing on relationships instead of transactions. That's the whole game. Thanks to Clay for hanging out and being real with us. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, whether you're closing the sale or building the relationship, you got this. This has been Whiskey is for Closers. Until next time, remember, being creepy at networking events is a choice you don't have to make. Cheers.
Cheers.